Today we continue with our class Halachos of Brochos. This class number 22. And we start with Sefer Chaim. And the big topic is the same, tailors for constructive listening. Okay. So today's topic between husband and wife. I have already seen that there are no grounds for sharing gossip with one spouse. Day 16. Okay. Okay. So day 16. Okay. To view withholding lashon hara from one spouse as a breach of harmony and trust is mistaken. So, so some people say, so wives would say, okay, you don't trust me, you don't tell me what's going on. Okay, it's not like I don't trust you, but it's going to be lashon hara. Somebody told me whatever they told me. I'm not obligated to tell you. And opposite also, men also they cannot demand, right, to listen to all this negative speech. The husband and wife who speak to seek to have a divine presence dwell in their midst should build their home on a foundation of halacha to avoid conversation which promotes strife and dissension among Jews. So you want a peace in the house, you go by halacha, not what you think is good. Moreover, so many halacha is do not share this negative information, right? If she needs to know, it's one thing, but if she does not need to know, why would you say that? Moreover, sharing negativity, for example, information, feeling, etc., does not help create a healthy, positive relationship, right? Okay. Nevertheless, when husband or wife is in need of emotional support in dealing with difficulty, it is only natural to look in one's spouse for assistance. Speaking or listening under such circumstances is constructive and clearly permissible. So as we said before, something happened with her on her job, or she started talking and whatever, so you're allowed to listen to it. Of course, you're not allowed to take it, to believe it 100%, but you're allowed to listen. So just let them talk, basically. Talk out, right? Him or her, doesn't matter. When possible, one should attempt to help one spouse to understand the situation in a way that would relieve their anger or frustration. So maybe she did not see all of the details clearly. Maybe just ask her questions, right? Just guide her. If one finds that his or her spouse is forever in need of letting off steam, it is important to try to bring about general change of the attitude through the discussion, reading or audio material, and suggestion a meeting with a rabbi or other qualified individuals. So here we go. So okay. So one time, okay, we understand. Maybe two times when they have this frustration, that's understandable. But when a person, him or she, the spouse or no spouse, have this frustration every time, that's an issue. It has nothing to do with frustration. You know, it has everything to do with their character, right? So you have to work on their character. Try to help them to change, to realize whatever they're doing is destructive to themselves and destructive to the environment. Not good. You have to fix it. A word of caution. While one must be prepared to hear out the spouse and offer emotional support when necessary, one must be ever vigilant not to be drawn into conversation of lashon hara for no constructive purpose. It is often a case that couples fail to draw this distinction and consequently totally ignore the laws of Shmiras Lashon when conversing. So basically, okay, so she's allowed to talk, to tell you what happened and how frustrated she is, but that's it. She does not have to involve all of the other things, right? All of what happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So take it easy, just tell me what happened today, and that's it. Right? So, I mean, we have to stop. Him or her, whoever is like to talk more. Some men talk more than women. Right? Much more. All right. So we're back to our book, Halachos of Brochos. And we're on chapter 6, page, lucky page 99, right? Page 99. And our topic is wine exempts other beverages. So we learned before that bread exempt all of the foods, but we said that bread does not exempt wine. So on wine, during the meal, we have to say separate blessing, right? But for example, you don't have bread, so wine would exempt all other beverages, exempt meaning from a blessing. So if you said blessing on the wine, you can drink water, you can drink soda, juices, whatever you want to drink. Okay, introduction. Rav Hia stated, bread exempts all foods, wine exempts all beverages. Right, so it's from a Talmud. Here it says Talmud Brachos 41b. Okay. In chapter 5, we learn that bracha on bread exempt all other foods eaten during a meal from the individual brachas requirements, because bread is the most choshuv of the all food. Choshuv is important, right? So just so we understand. So bread, if you have a bread meal, so bread would cover all of the beverages, because usually people drink some beverages during the meal or after the meal, so it's part of the meal. But okay, continue. In a similar way, the bracha on wine exempt all of the beverages that are consumed at the same drinking session, because wine is the most chashuv of all beverages. So bread is the most important of all foods, and wine the most important of all of the beverages. For example, if one makes a kiddush on wine on Shabbos morning, he may drink fruit juice, soda, and whiskey, coffee, and any other beverage without making additional brachas, in accordance with the rule which we will discuss below. Okay, so basically, meaning in this case, he does not eat bread, right? So I'm not sure why, but let's continue. Note, when mention is made of wine in this chapter, it includes grape juice as well. Regarding the halachic definition of wine and grape juice, for example, how to classify wines diluted with water. 1 second. Or mixed with a seltzer, etc. Shulchan Aruch or Chaim 202, 1 and 204, 5. Okay, so let's stop right here and try to understand what it says here. So first of all, we said there is no difference in halachic terms between wine and when we say wine, we mean grape wine, right? And grape juice, there is no difference. The only thing we have to be concerned about, as I say in the last sentence, when we dilute wine too much, dilute meaning that we add water, wine or grape juice, for example, it was too sweet. We said it's too sweet, even though it says no sugar added, right? So at one point, when it's too much water, and we're going to discuss what is too much water, it's even though it still looks like wine, it stops being wine, right? It's actually we have to make a blessing shechako on this drink. So it's no longer wine, it's something else. Okay, so let's begin. So we start with A, wine exempt all other beverages. Okay, let's see. When one recites Borepricha Geffen and drinks wine, all other beverages are exempt from their bracha requirements. The other beverages does not require separate bracha rishana, nor they require separate bracha achrana. So it's very interesting. So, a person makes a blessing on a wine, and it includes all of the beverages. And then after he or she finish drinking the wine and all of the other beverages, they say only blessing achrana is after blessing. Only blessing after blessing on the wine, and it's going to cover all other beverages as well. Commentary. If one drank less than revi'is, approximately 3 ounces of wine, and left the premises, he must make another bracha if he wishes to drink wine or another beverages in the second location. Regarding what constitutes the second location, see chapter 9. Regarding a change of location, there drinking revi'is is more or more wine. See section D. Okay. So let's go line by line and explain. If one drinks less than the revi'is, so revi'is we said not in this class. No, in this class also, but we discuss it in detail in the laws of Shabbos, right? What is revi'is? So revi'is, it's there are different opinions, but by the sages. So it's from 86 cc grams, right, until up to the most strict is 150 grams, right? So they say approximately 3 ounces. So that's what it is, minimum, right? So if person drank less than this revi'is in this location and went somewhere and he now is in another location and he wished to drink more wine or other beverages, right, in a second location. Just 1 second. So in this case, if he went to another place, he drank less than this 3 ounces, meaning the release of wine, in the second location, he has to make another blessing. Okay. Regarding what constitutes the second location, see chapter 9. Did we cover it? No, we didn't get to it. Okay, chapter 9. Regarding a change of location after drinking revi'is or more the wine, see D2. So we and A, so we're going to get to it. Okay. The replica given remains effective for wine, another beverage, until such a time as one it's English spelling, sorry. Meiseach da'as. Okay. For drinking. So Meiseach da'as, it's I think it means that he still keeps in mind that he wants to drink more. That's what it is. Regarding what constitute being Meiseach da'as, see chapter 8. Okay, so it's all in the future. All right, so let's read from the beginning and we continue. So it says, when one recites the replica geffen and drinks wine, all of the other beverages are exempt, and their bracha, or from their bracha requirements. The other beverages do not require separate bracha rishana. So rishana is the first blessing, nor do they require separate bracha achrana. Okay, number 1. Amount of wine necessary to exempt. According to many paskim, bracha on wine will exempt other beverages only if one drinks significant amount of wine. Significant in double quotes, right? So what does it mean, significant? The minimum amount considered significant with regard to the exempting other beverages is lo lugma, a chickful, or approximately 2 ounces. 2 ounces. Okay. You know what? Let's read completely, and then we go back with commentaries. Okay, and we explain. If one drinks less than 2 ounces of wine, it is questionable if the other beverages sort with the wine require separate bracha. Since the requirement of bracha for other beverages is questionable, one should not drink the other beverages without bracha, as they might indeed require one. Nor should he make a bracha on them, because bracha may be unwarranted. It is advisable, therefore, that the person plans to drink wine and other beverages, he should drink at least 2 ounces of wine. If this is difficult for him, he should not make shechakol on other beverages, but rather ask friend who is about to make shechakol to be motzi him. Alternatively, he can make shechakol on an item that has not covered by the bracha of wine. For example, a piece of fish, piece of sugar, right? While having intention to exempt the other beverages as well. Okay, so it's very, very practical, very, very useful. So let's start. Let's go to this piece from the beginning, and we're going to explain line by line. Okay, it's very interesting. So the amount of wine is the necessary to exempt. In order to understand what we're trying to say here, first of all, if we go back to bread, right, what we learned in Mishnah Brura. So we said that in order for a bread to exempt other foods, you need to eat at least 1 ounce of bread, like 28 grams. So if you're going to eat less than 28 grams, so other foods are not exempt. So it means this piece of bread is not a meal. You understand? So same. So if I think I gave this example. So one time it was leftover piece, I don't know, from the day before, and of course I washed my hands. I didn't say blessing because it's too small piece. So I said hamotzi. I ate bread and ate and made blessing on other foods. Okay. So because it was for sure it was not enough to exempt other foods, but of course we don't want to throw the piece of bread out. Chas v'shalom, wasting food, not good, right? So you eat, but it's not going to cover other things. Okay. And same story with wine, right? So I mean to say blessing on the wine. So first blessing. Bracha Rishana, we say on any amount. Doesn't matter. You want to do a little sip, you still say the blessing. Doesn't matter. But this sip is not significant enough to cover all other beverages that you're going to drink afterwards. Understand? So that's why they give us all of this criteria. Okay. So criteria is mlolud maf. Mlolud maf. It's a cheekful, like what can fit behind one's cheek. Of course, everybody have a different cheek. So bigger guy, I don't know, have a bigger cheek full than a little lady, right? 5 feet tall, right? Of course. But so I would say on one hand it's cheek full, but on the other hand it's 2 ounces, right? Okay, approximate. So it's like an average. So let's do from the beginning with all of the commentary. According to the many, so basically I explained many things, but whatever we missed, we're going to explain now. According to many poskim, bracha on wine will exempt other beverages only if he drinks significant amount of wine. Commentary. According to some poskim, the rule that wine exempts other beverages applies only in cases where one plans to drink many cups of wine. Many cups of wine. Thus, where one drinks only 1 or 2 cups of wine, the Geffen will not exempt the beverages. So I'm not sure who can drink like many cups of wine. Right? Similarly, when one uses only 1 cup of wine for kiddush and does not plan on drinking additional wine, his Borepricha Geffen will not exempt other beverages. Okay, so let's understand this. Those paskim. So they say the statement is for that's what we started with, that in order to exempt other beverages, he has to drink significant amount of wine. And significant amount of wine, they say it's several glasses. I don't know, cups. a person would get drunk like from 2 cups, 3 cups. I don't know, maybe some alcoholics not going to there, but normal people would get drunk, I think, from a few cups. I don't know. So okay, so they say if you plan to drink these several cups, then all of the other beverages are exempt. If not, not. Right. So basically, this kiddush, when we do kiddush, whether Friday night or Shabbos morning, it's for sure it is Revi'is, right? And on Friday night when we're learning Halachos of Shabbos, we say it has to be like more stricter. More stricter is we said 4.2 ounces, I think, right? And you don't have to go as Chazanish as a 5.1, I think, but I mean I do, but it's not that necessary. I just like wine on Friday night. It's I drink wine only once a week, so that's it. And it's not strong, so that I have no problem to drink this 5.2 ounces, no problem. Right? And on Shabbos day, we said since it is rabbinical, on Friday night is biblical, on Shabbos day it's rabbinical, so we can go lenient opinion. We can go 3.1 ounces, if you want. If not, drink 5 or drink 4.2, no problem. Right? So it's already so, and usually people drink the wine during the meal if they do. Right, so then all of the other beverages are exempt, right? But if not, they're not exempt, right? If person, for example, he does not like wine, and whatever kiddush wine is the only wine that he's going to drink. That's it. So other beverages are not exempt, according to this opinion. Okay, continue. According to the most poskim, however, when even 1 cup of wine or less will exempt other beverages, provided that the requirement discussed in section A2. So it's A1, so the next one, are met. Okay. So according to this, most paskim, even 1 cup. I mean, as I said, I mean, I can do 1 cup, 1.5, but many cups, that's that's too much. That's waste of life, I would say. Okay. So continue. One second. So second opinion. Okay, we said continue. The minimum of 1 considered significant, right? Significant. With regard to exempting the beverages, lolugmaf, right? So even though there are several opinions, right? As we said, one of them significant said many cups. Others say even 1 cup or less. So we're going. So the halacha is accepted by the second opinion, and they say lolugmaf. Even though when we were talking about Shabbos. Lolugmaf was actually less than 2 ounces. No, it was 2 ounces. It was if 4.2 ounces. Yeah, it would be exactly half of lolugmaf is half of Revi'is. Right, so it would be 2 ounces. Yes. Sorry, cheek full, or approximately 2 ounces. Okay, we're good. Commentary. The amount of liquid which constitute lolugmaf varies according to the size of one's mouth. As we understand, a big guy and little tiny lady, right? Elderly lady. You cannot compare. But approximately 2 ounces for average person. Okay. Continue. If one drank less than 2 ounces of wine, it is questionable whether the beverage served with the wine are required separate bracha. So as we said many times in our classes, don't put yourself in this questionable situation. Of course, there are ways out of the situation, but don't put yourself initially in this situation, right? So if this person drank less than 2 ounces, wine, so lo lugmav. So it's questionable if he can continue or she can continue drinking Pepsi, let's say, right? Pepsi is not good, not healthy. Seltzer, it's better. Since the requirement of the bracha, since the requirements of a bracha for other beverages is questionable, one should not drink the other beverages without bracha, as they might indeed require one. Nor should he make the bracha on them, because bracha might be unwarranted. So here we go. So person put himself in such a situation that he cannot drink other beverages because he did not drink enough, right, of this wine, and he cannot make blessing because maybe it's enough, So he put himself in this questionable situation. It is advisable, therefore. So of course, there are solutions, but initially, don't put yourself in such situations. It is advisable, therefore, that when a person plans to drink wine and other beverages, he should drink at least 2 ounces of wine. Right, 2 ounces. I mean, it's not much unless it's a very strong wine. But I don't know. Don't drink strong wine. That's it. If this is difficult for him, he should not make shechakol on other beverages. So okay, so he wants, but he cannot. So just because he cannot, he put himself in this questionable situation, so he cannot drink other beverages. So if we're talking about bread meal, there is no problem. There's other beverages exempt. We're now talking about the meal without bread, right? Beverage, but okay. Just 1 second. But rather, so he cannot make another shechakol on the seltzer, let's say, but rather ask a friend who is about to make shechakol to motzi him. To motzi someone, it means that keeping in mind. So when you make a blessing on this seltzer, please keep in mind that it's also a blessing for me. So I should be motzi with you. So usually we cannot do that for foods other than bread, usually, as we discussed some time ago, right? But here is an exceptional situation. It's exceptional because the guy is stuck, right? Alternatively, he may make shechakol on an item which was not covered by the bracha on the wine. For example, piece of fish or piece of sugar, while having intention to exempt the other beverages as well. So here we go. So I mean, if you're in your home or you're somewhere where there is extra food, there is no problem. But let's say if you're at in the office, right, working, or in your job you're working, and that's all your lunch, that's all you brought with you, right? So if there is another Jew, so ask him to help you, and or to help you, or take some other foods, right, that have a shechakol blessing, and like fish, they say a piece of sugar, some other candy, right, whatever is it, piece of cheese, right, and say blessing on that. So basically we're talking about solid foods, right? And when you eat the solid foods, so you make you keep in mind that you want to include also these beverages. Okay, so that's 2 simple solutions. Number 2, other beverages should be in front of him. According to many poskim, only those beverages which are in front of the person at the time he makes the borei geffen are exempt. According to this view, beverages which are subsequently brought to the table will require the appropriate brachas. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. So actually, it's a general approach to blessings. It's not only about wine or other beverages. It's not. It's about any other blessings for the things that are not in front of you. So basically we said, for example, if I have a bowl of fruits and I'm planning to eat only some grapes, and it has, let's say, apples and pears and other things, right, and plums. So, and I started with grapes, and that's what was my intention. But now I feel appetite to eat another fruit. So since, even though I didn't have intention to eat anything else except few grapes, but since this bowl was in front of me, so I can continue eating the fruits with the same, and this same blessing on the grapes would cover these pears, let's say. Why? Because they were in front of me. So here, according to this, many poskim, right? Many poskim say that okay, you make the blessing on the wine, but all other beverages should be in front of you also. Let's say if you like during the meal, so you have on a table of these bottles, right? And that's it, they include it. And if something, let's say, is in a refrigerator, and you bring something cold, so in this case, one second. In this case, you would need to make. In this case, you would need to make a separate blessing, right, on these new beverages. Okay, so don't draw any conclusions. So let's see second opinion. Many poskim add that if one have a specific intention at the time of he makes the borei pricha gefen to drink the additional beverages, they are covered, even though they're not in front of him. Okay, so second opinion says, okay, even though they were not in front of him, but he usually drinks, right? Another thing, as we learned before, was if he usually drinks, for example, during his meal, he drinks coffee or tea. So even though he did not make the coffee and tea, but it's since he usually does it, so it's also exempt. That would be the example, right? Or as I say, if he had intention to drink this coffee or tea, okay, they're also exempt, even though they're not on the table. Commentary. According to many poskim, beverages brought during the wine drinking session, there is more than 2 cups of wine. So the wine drinking session to more than 2 cups of wine are exempt, even though one did not have specific intent to drink them, nor were they were on the table when he made borei pricha gefen. It is, however, preferable, even in a situation such as this, to bring other beverages at the table before making borei pricha gefen. Very interesting. So it says, so there is some specific situation, right, which is called drinking session, wine drinking session. That's not good. That's not Jewish way to drink wine. Okay. Okay. So and they say, what is a drinking session? 2 cups of wine. Okay, if they drink 2 cups of wine, it has this meal, right? It has a special title, wine drinking session. And now whatever they bring after that, so because why? I think people get hungry maybe when they drink wine, right? They drink something else, maybe because of wine to offset the taste. I don't know. So basically, they say that after if you have 2 cups, so you can all other things, all other beverages exempt, even though they're not in front of him. Or as we said here in the main text, that he had specific intention to drink, I don't know, let's say he had orange juice in his refrigerator, but he wants it to be extra cold, and he's waiting when it's going to cool off. Okay, so that's specific intention. Continue. For example, one comes home from shul early on Shabbos morning and is not ready to eat seudah, but he does want to make kiddush and have some coffee and cake. Since at the time of he made kiddush, he intend to drink coffee, the coffee is covered by Barepricho Gofen, even though it was not in front of him when he made Kiddush. Okay, so let's read this situation and we're going to explain, because I think it's a practical example. For example, one comes from home from the shul early on Shabbos. I'm not sure why would he come early on Shabbos. Always come on time or late. I'm not sure why early. Okay, and is not ready to eat Seudah. So okay, the person does not have appetite for whatever reason. Okay, maybe he should go. My advice to a different shul, further. Like when I come from the shul where I go, I'm very hungry. Right? It's nice walk, basically, very hungry, which is good. But he does not want to make kiddush, right? Doesn't. But he does want to make kiddush and have some coffee and cake. Okay, so we learn in the laws of Shabbos, you're not allowed to eat anything or drink until you make a kiddush, right? On Shabbos day, when the time comes, right? And when the proper time, or after the prayers, so you already have to make a kiddush. So he makes a kiddush in order to eat cake. Cake and coffee. So they did not say just drink coffee, but cake, right? Because if you make a kiddush, you don't eat cake. So there's a problem with that. There's a big problem with that, right? Because this kiddush is not counted as a kiddush, as we learn in now Laws of Shabbos sessions. Okay. So you see how all of these things can come together into one from all of the other classes. So one more time, since at the time he makes kiddush, he intended to drink coffee. Coffee is covered by Barepricho Gafen, even though it was not in front of him when he made kiddush. So that's, as we said before, that's clear, right? He wants to drink coffee, and this wine from kiddush would cover the coffee. Continue. Therefore, the poskim advise that all other beverages that one may wish to drink should be brought to the table before making the bracha on wine. So that's to be like straightforward, according not to this opinion, not to that opinion, according to all of the opinions. So as we always learn, I always say it's better to go according to all of the opinions. You understand? So I mean, in many times I think it's very, very simple, very, very straightforward. If we teach ourselves to go like the proper path is a straight path, so you would not need to know all of this other situation. Somebody said this and somebody said that. I mean, we need to know in case of advice to advise others, let's say, or be somewhere away, not at home, and okay. So but that's a different situation. But it's better, as I said, better to go a straightforward way according to all of the opinions. According to all of the opinions, as we just said, it's better. So all of the beverages were in front of him. That's it. Continue. However, if the beverages were not on a table, and he also did not have intention to drink other beverages, at the time he made the bracha, a separate bracha on other beverages is required. For example, right? For example, he wanted to make a kiddush in order to drink a piece of cake and go to sleep, right? I don't know, to go have some nap because guests are coming in 1 hour, let's say, right? Possible. So now and after he finished this cake and said, look, wine is very good, but I want orange juice. So this orange juice is not covered because it was not in front of him and he did not have intention to drink it, right? Okay, right, continue. Exception guest. Okay, I love this exception guest. Okay, so let's read and we explain. A baropricha gofen that the guest makes will cover all other beverages which his host is subsequently served, even though they were not on the table at the time of he made baropricha gofen. Nor did he have a specific intention to drink other beverages. The reason is that the guest being dependent on his host, and has an underlying intent to drink any beverages his host may subsequently serve. Therefore, even he makes a Borepri Geffen, it is considered as if he had specific intent to drink other beverages as well. It's also chapter 7 in this case, so we're going to get to it. Commentary. It is preferable, however, that all the beverages be on the table prior to making bracha on wine. So, on one hand, I mean, if we come to somebody's house, we're not going to tell them what to do in their house, to bring all of the beverages. They never attended our classes. They think that we are crazy, right? And we're not crazy. That's a proper way. So basically, when you guest in somebody's house, so you are already when you are agreed to be invited to go in somebody else's house, it's like you already agreed to on all of the beverage or on all of the food. Whatever they're going to bring me is good. What they're going to bring me, I don't know. How much? I don't know. So I agree on everything. So meaning what? That you have intention to drink everything that it's they're going to bring to you. So meaning that everything is exempt, which is good. Okay, continue. B. Let me see how much is. Maybe we're going to finish Be'Ezrat Hashem. B. A wine before meal, exempt wine used during the meal. Okay. Wine which is served during the course of the meal requires Borepri Geffen. Okay. As it is not covered by bracha on the bread. So we said it before, right? That's what we said in the beginning. So if we went, we're not talking about Shabbos, right? Shabbos is understandable. You need to make a kiddush. But for example, you eat Seuda Shlishi, right? The third meal. And now you decided to have a little wine, or a lot of wine, whatever you decided to have wine. So on this wine, you have to make separate blessing. It was not covered by bread. When one makes bracha on wine before the meal and has intention to include a wine that which be served during the meal, the second bracha during the meal is not required. Commentary. With regard to specific intention for covering other items, see chapter 7. Okay. I'm not sure what chapter we are on. Oh, chapter 6. Sorry. Chapter 6. Okay. So basically, what it says here. 1 second. So when one makes blessing on the wine, let's say this, even kiddush, even other situation, before the meal, with intention that he's going to drink some wine during the meal. So wine during the meal is included. And another thing, as we learned before, so if he usually does it, if he usually does drink the wine during the meal, so he does not have does need to have any specific separate intention. It's like his habit in this case is his intention forever. Continue. If one makes a Borepri Geffen on wine served before the meal, and the table is in front of him, set with wine, which will be used during the meal, it is considered if he has a specific intent, and second bracha will not be required. Okay, so now he drinks some wine before the meal. Meaning this wine, so what we're trying to say, this wine that he drank before the meal, and the meal, it's like two separate, in some sense, two separate eating sessions, right? So for example, we go somewhere and there is a reception, so people drink wine, they make blessing, drink wine, and then they sit down to eat, let's say without bread, right? Even with the bread, right? So, but it's a separate eating session, right? Even though it's in an even separate room, separate this, separate that, but if one is on the table, well, let's say if it's not separate room, it's the same room, right? But it's I don't know, 15 minutes, 20, half an hour later. So, but that wine was on the table, so it is also included. He does not need, even though he did not have intention, and I'm going to drink or not going to drink, if the wine was there, it's already included. So that's okay, that's good. Next one. Similarly, if one is normally served in the meal, his bracha before the meal will cover the wine served during the meal. Commentary note. So I mean, if he knew that they're going to, or that they usually serve wine during the meal. Commentary note: if one made bracha achrana, so concluding bracha on wine he drank before the meal, his barepricha geffen will no longer be effective to cover the wine which be served during at the meal. I'm not sure why somebody would think otherwise, but okay. So we're now talking about situation. So it was, as we said, two separate sessions. One is like reception, and then a formal meal, right? So in this reception, they drank wine, and let's say this person say bracha achrana, concluded blessing after the wine. Of course, for all of the wine during the meal, has to make separate blessing. Okay, I'm not sure why would somebody conclude otherwise. I mean, once you say it after blessing, that's it. That bracha initially is expired. That's it. You have opening, you have closing. That's it. Continue. However, if one did not have intention to include the wine, which will be served at the meal, and the table was not set with the wine for the meal, and wine was not normally served at the meal, the second bracha will be required. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's trying to drink less wine. Let's say, right? Person. No. It's I apologize. It's not a good example. That's not what they're talking about. No. Here they're talking about that. Okay, he drank some wine and he did not have any intention. Actually, one second. However, if one did not have intention to include the wine which will be served during the no, that's exactly no. I start speaking correct. So, so he drank some wine, and he did not want to include the wine that would be served during the meal for whatever reason, right? And the table was not set of his wine at the meal. So and wine was not there. As we were given this example of this bowl of fruits, right? Even though he did not have intention to eat pears, but now he wants to eat it, and guess what? It is in a bowl, conveniently in front of him, and guess what? He does not need a separate blessing. But in this situation, the wine was not there. He did not have an intention. The wine was not there, and the wine normally not served during the meal. So all of the three situations in which we said we can rule leniently. Now he negates all three of them, and guess what? A second bracha will be required. So he put himself in this situation that he needs to make a blessing. Continue. Even in those instances that the wine served during the meal does not require another bracha, right? Nevertheless, one served after benching will require a new barepricha gof. I'm not sure why would somebody think otherwise, but we're going to explain. Therefore, when a cup of wine is used for a benching or sheva brachas, barepricha geffen is required. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we said that he started drinking wine before the meal, right? And he drank wine during the meal. So all of these are covered by initial blessing, let's say, right? But all of the wine that is made that they bring, right, or they're going to drink after the benching. Benching it's saying Birchas Hamazon, right? So after you finish Birchas Hamazon, like it's like it was beginning bracha rishana, bracha achrana, in this case Birchas Hamazon. So everything that you're going to eat, it's like beginning of eating session, end of eating session. Everything that you're going to eat or drink after that is not included. I'm not sure why would somebody conclude otherwise, but they say explicitly, just so we don't have these crazy ideas that this wine is also included. They say that when you do a blessing Birchas Hamazon over the cup of wine, that's what Shulchan says is proper. When you have three adult Jews, right? or more, right? That's what we do. It's proper to do over the cup of wine, right? So, and when we finish benching, and now this person, the leader, wants to say the blessing, wants to drink the wine, and it's proper to drink the wine, so he has to make the blessing, right? Or he has to make a blessing. 1 second. Just 1 second. What did I want to say? Or okay, yeah. Or they say this idea is Sheva Brachos. So Sheva Brachos, after people getting married, they have this custom to say 7 blessings, right? So over that cup of wine at the end of the meal, right? So of course, whoever is going to drink from that cup, he has to say separate blessing. Okay, C, applications. Number 1, kiddush at shul or at simcha. Simcha is like celebration, right? A person making kiddush. One who makes kiddush either for himself or to be motze others, right? Or for himself or to include his family or like extended group of people, is required to drink at least lolog mav in order to fulfill the requirements of kiddush. Thus, a person making kiddush usually drinks enough wine to exempt all of the other beverages which he will drink at the kiddush. For example, soda, beer, whiskey. Okay, so let's try to understand. So this person, we actually learned all of this in our Laws of Shabbos class, right? So, but just to remind ourselves. So the one who is who makes the blessing on the wine, right? Who makes kiddush, he has the obligation to drink, not other people. So even other people, it's nice if they drink from his kiddush wine, but even if they don't, they still fulfill the mitzvah of saying kiddush, right? And he must drink minimum lolug mav. So if he drinks less than lolug mav, this mitzvah of kiddush is not counted. Basically, I mean, it's proper to, according to if as we said before, we want to go to all according to all of the opinions. According to all of the opinions, you have to drink revi'is. Okay, so you would satisfy all of the opinions, right? So, but at least lolug mav, half of the revi'is. Be quiet. Okay, commentary regarding people who are unable to drink lolug mav. Persons recited Kiddush. Persons recited Kiddush in order to exempt others. The other halachas of drinking a Kiddush wine. Okay. Again, okay. Well, persons. Okay, so in some cases, I mean, it does not say here, but we learn in the Laws of Shabbos, he can give to drink to somebody else, right? Preferably to adult. That also is obligated the mitzvah of Kiddush on the same level as this person. Okay, so he has to drink lolug mav, cheek full, as we said, 2 ounces. Does the person making Kiddush usually drinks enough wine to exempt all of the other beverages? So we're talking about this guy, we're not talking about others, right? So he's good, basically, which he will drink at the Kiddush. Right, for example, soda, beer, whiskey, etc. Commentary. Regarding changing location or being meiseach das, remember, like keep in mind, right, on what I want to do. From drinking, seafood not A. Okay. Also, the other beverages are not exempt unless they're in front of him. If he has specific intent to drink them when he makes barep gef. This is section A2. We actually discussed it. So, or he usually drinks it, right? As we said, if that's habit, his habit, that's halacha, right? Or they are in front of him when he has intention to drink them. So properly to have all of the above at the same time, right? They're in front of him at the table, and he has a intention to drink them. continue. B, persons who were Yotzi by listening to Kiddush. Okay, so they are Motzias, but we Yotzi. Yotzi meaning that we exempt from making our own Kiddush, right? So we just listening, and our sages explain, listening is like saying. It says, one who wishes to be Yotzi by listening to someone else's Kiddush and also intends to drink other beverages should preferably drink more than lolog maf of wine. One more time. One who wishes to be Yotzi by listening to someone else's Kiddush and also intends to drink other beverages should preferably drink more than lolog maf of wine. Commentary. Okay. So, one sec. So, as we said, this person is not obligated to drink this wine from Kiddush at all. For example, that's only limited amount of wine and there are too many people. Okay, no problem. One person said for everybody needs to. But let's say there is enough wine, and this person who is listening to somebody else's Kiddush, he wants to drink other beverages. So he has to drink enough wine, basically more than lolog maf, right? More than chick full, in order so other beverages be included. Or if he does not want to drink wine, one more time, he's not obligated. He just has to have to say this shechakol on other beverages and just drink them. There is no problem. Okay. But if he wants, but just because somebody said Kiddush, it does not mean that all other beverages covered for him personally. For that guy who said Kiddush, yes, but for him, no, not because he did not drink. If he drinks less than lolog maf, for example, he takes a sip from the Kiddush cup and then wishes to drink another beverage, right? This is another beverage. It is questionable whether or not shechakol is required. So as we said in the previous session, exactly the same situations. He drank less than lolog maf, or just a little sip, right? So it's questionable situation. So basically, he cannot say another blessing. Maybe it's going to be blessing anyway, and he cannot continue drinking because this wine did not cover other beverages. The poskim advised that he should either ask a friend to be motzi him, or he should make, meaning motzi him when this guy is going to make a blessing, let's say, on a piece of fish. So I would ask him to please keep me in mind, right? And I would have in mind that that I should be exempt from making blessing on the soda, right? Okay, so one more time. The poskim advised that he should either ask his friends to be motzi him, or he should make a shechakol on something else. For example, piece of fish or a candy, and have intentions to cover the other beverages. If, however, the listener does not drink any wine at all, a bracha on other beverages will be required. So as we said before, it's straightforward case. He did not drink wine. Okay, just say the blessing on the soda. That's it. Number 2, wine at shmurzga's board. So it's like a reception before the wedding. So right? A caterer at caterer affairs, formal dinners, wine often served as a reception before the meal, and again during the course of the meal. Okay, so before the meal and during the course of the meal. Okay, no problem. And plus, just to remind us, usually it's in separate rooms. It's not maybe the same. I don't know. I don't go to this affair, so for me to say usual, it's not sure state. I don't know. When a guest makes a replica geffen on wine served during the reception, his underlying intent is to also cover anything that the host will subsequently serve, right? So meaning all other beverages. Therefore, the bracha he made at the reception will cover all wines, right, and champagnes, which will be served during the meal. That's it, very simple. It will also cover all other beverages, for example, whiskey, served before and during the meal. So whiskey, as we learned before, it's a tricky situation. Okay. Next one, the number 3 is Havdalah. There is difference of opinion among the Rishonim, which with regard to whether a borei pricha gefen on Havdalah made immediately before meal will cover wine served during the meal. We actually discussed it in our Shabbos class, right? So at Havdalah, and he wants to start meal right after Havdalah, right? And drink more wine if this borei pricha gefen will cover the wine during the meal. Therefore, the Paskim advise that when making Havdalah before the meal, at which wine will be served, one should have specific intent to exclude the wine which will subsequently be served. If this is done, a separate bracha will be required for wine which subsequently served at the meal. In this manner, one is yotze according to all of the views. So let's see commentary and we stop. And I mean explaining stuff. After the fact, if he did not have specific intent to limit the bracha for Havdalah only, he should not make another bracha on wine which is subsequently consumed. If he had intent to drink wine at meal. So okay, so we're talking about Havdalah, and it's right before the meal. And it's right before the meal. So we say what? So it's proper. Also, you say it's proper, right? And not to put yourself in a questionable situation. So it's proper to exclude in your mind. You say, I'm saying this borei pricha gefen only on this cup of wine. Okay, all of the wine that I'm going to subsequently drink, I'm not included in this borei pricha gefen. So in this case, he finished Havdalah. They clean up the table, whatever they did. So he said after blessing after that wine, and for all of the wines that he's going to drink during the meal, he has to say separate blessing. Okay, that's it. So that's our perfect timing. Wow, that's the story about wine covering other beverages. It's chapter 6, finished chapter. Okay, any questions? So we start here. Okay. When we stop here, wish everybody good Shabbos, all the best, and until next week, Be'Ezrat Hashem. Thank you. Thank you very much.